Welcome back, everybody. Saturdays with Chickenduck, episode 127. For those of you that are keeping count, joining us today, is Kim. Nobody's in the guest seat just yet, but special guest on his way.
On his way.
So, Kim, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. How are you, Casey?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
I'm well.
Good. You had, before we got started, you had asked us a question? What was
Yes. That question is, how did you guys meet growing up?
Well, we played football together when we were like 6 and 7.
it? Yes.
So we knew each other then. And MTA football was pretty close. So, but then, I think Johnny M, probably hanging out with him
No,
in
I
high
think
school would have been.
I don't know, because I remember coming over to your house, on holidays and such, and I don't think that was, after Johnny M and I.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But then we all, started hanging out when you were dating John, right?
Yeah.
And that was in high school, right?
Yeah. I just wasn't sure.
I don't remember. I've done a lot of drugs since then, Kim.
Tough to recall. It wasn't before high school, though, that we actually started hanging out.
No, I don't think so.
Hanging out. Then you kind of
Latched on.
We had a yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did have a falling out.
We had
Would
a
you
slight
like to
falling out
Really?
also. No.
Would you like to talk about that?
We probably shouldn't talk about that, seeing as though we can't edit anything out of the show anymore. It'd be a shame to get blood all over the new pictures.
Let's
So-
not rehash the.
I'll wait till Joel's here. I'll just have him kick your ass. So what's new?
What's new with me? Let's see. Nothing, man. I was just waiting for Joel to get here.
Okay.
Got a lot of questions. Not really, but just want to see what he's been up to
Probably
because
the
he's
same 6 or 7 questions that I have.
the Joel the hair surgeon. So
Was he on the show before?
no.
No.
I want to try to change things up and get people that own businesses and stuff around.
That's a good idea.
Our area.
Yeah.
Change things up a little bit.
That is nice.
Um,
I know I gave my notice at my job this week.
Okay.
I wanted to see if you did not laugh. I wanted to see how straight you play it.
You told me not to laugh, so I didn't. I just hope that's not on video.
What?
I hope you didn't scroll that around to the video. So
I
the
don't
video
care. I'll
can
put
see
it. I'll overlay it. That'll be my thumbnail. I need to know what that thing says. I'm sorry, Kim. You gave your 2-week?
I gave my current position 3 weeks notice, so
Oh.
I'm definitely leaving. So,
You
yeah.
have somewhere to go?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to
that's good.
St. Luke's Hospital doing interventional radiology. So I start there in I start August 12th. So I'm going to try to take a couple weeks off.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice.
So, yeah. I'm a little nervous.
Sure.
Beth-
How
is that
long?
Bethlehem?
They have 11 locations, but I'll be in Allentown and Sacred Heart. So St. Luke's purchased Sacred Heart about a year ago.
Sacred
so now
Heart
they're
is-
purchasing all. It was their own little hospital
Where's it at?
in Allentown.
Okay.
So they're a mile from each other. So I'll be covering Allentown and Sacred Heart, if I'm on call and whatnot. So
Are you planning on moving?
no, I know it's a 45-minute drive.
Yuck. It's
But it shouldn't be bad because there's some back ways to take. So you take Blaine and Fleetwood Road, pop out at that candy shop
Yep.
on 222, and then you just
Premise
shoot up. Yeah, so it's not too bad.
like when we went with
I mean, I guess
old
we'll find
Uncle
out.
Mark's. Remember? Makunji.
Sort of. I would have if I was going to
Country's right there.
Your brain has been dented.
if
by
I was going to
drug use,
Makunji
man.
though, I would just stay straight there, and I would go.
222 all the way.
Congratulations, guys.
I wouldn't make.
You're a
that
better
turn.
driver than I am. You're a better navigator.
Oh, I know. You don't have to tell me.
He does have experience.
Yeah. He's got something.
The Pontiac
Oh
6000.
my god. Yes, I
I
do.
remember that. I remember that.
I think you were the only one that could drive at the time, right?
Yeah.
No one else did.
Yeah,
We
that's
didn't.
probably
We
the
were
only
younger.
reason you guys
right?
hung out
Right.
with me.
We were younger. Yeah, it was completely the only reason. And because you had no curfew because your parents didn't care about you.
Do they still live in the same place?
My dad does, yeah. Up on the hill.
Yeah,
Remember
I
that?
vaguely remember it.
I do remember vividly, going past that tree pretty fast, coming back from Maple
Grove, yeah.
and Gibralator. I remember
Gibralator,
that.
for
Remember
sure, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There was. I feel like it was always dangerous in that car.
It was.
Like Whenever I
and
was
it wasn't
in it.
just that car. There was a truck. There was a Bronco. There was a couple vehicles that were all equally as dangerous. Do you remember driving with Ashley down
Who's Ashley?
the J Dub? What was her name?
Audrey.
Audrey. It was close. Probably
Yeah,
the
it
same
started
letters.
with an
Yeah.
Ended in a Y. You just
Right.
had the middle mixed up.
So I remember driving. I was in one vehicle and you were in the other,
Okay.
and we were on 61 coming down past Lake Glengarry.
Okay.
And your radio didn't work, so you were listening to mine, and I was driving in the vehicle that was driving next to you. Yeah, and we were flying. And then we decided to piss the people off behind us, so we just slowed down to a crawl and listened to some music on 61 as people beeped at you.
Was it loud?
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
I think it was the Jeep pickup truck that I had a bunch of speakers in.
I remember that. I remember the Jeep pickup truck. And then the LTD that you had.
Yeah, Beretta. My dad's Beretta.
The
Oh my
black
gosh,
one.
I had a Beretta.
Yeah,
A red
it was a
Beretta.
fun car.
It's like the only car doors that open on the side.
Suicide doors?
Mine
Like-
did.
They open on the side.
My Beretta, yeah.
Like,
It doesn't open like a normal door. You had to
Oh, in the hand on
the handle.
door
That's what I meant.
Oh,
Yeah, the
okay,
handle to
yeah.
open it.
Not a suicide door.
That's not Nolly
No, no,
Wings.
no, not that. No, no. I meant the other.
What kind of Beretta were you driving?
Yeah.
No, my dad just gave me his Beretta.
So it was like made into the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow my voice.
Joel here.
Or the cat.
Follow our voices.
It's too loud for a cat.
Too loud for a cat.
No, the cat. I don't think the cat knows how to open the door yet either.
Let's hope not. Jesus Christ.
He's already tried to kill me.
For sure.
Well, welcome to the show, our special guest, Joel Sharp.
What's up, brother?
Hello.
Sir, how are you?
Hello. How are you?
The hair surgeon himself. How are things?
Talk directly into the mic.
Yeah,
Yes,
that'd
please.
be appropriate. That'd be
You
helpful.
can pull it towards you.
Cool.
Your voice will carry, though.
Will it?
Oh,
I'm
Jesus.
breaking
Right?
things already. All right.
Yeah, this
I'm cool. Let it go.
just loosens up. You're good, man. How are you?
I'm well.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. You guys been running for a little bit?
Yeah,
I'm
we
late.
got
Oh, it's all right, man.
It's okay.
15
We
minutes.
can cut
Yeah.
whatever. Just figured it'd be easier.
Perfect.
Bring you in.
I love it.
How are things?
Very well.
Good.
Yeah, man.
Joel, do you have anything written up that you want
No.
to pre-read or anything? Or just
Not really.
okay.
No.
Name of your shop,
So I work at Stag Barbershop,
right?
barber company. I'm the manager there.
Where's
been
it
there-
located?
It's on Kutztown Road, across from the old coastal. It's a Sunoco now,
Oh,
but
yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Oh
that
yeah.
where you're at?
Old
Yeah, it's the old
Nat
Center
and
Square.
Frank?
Yep.
No way.
Yeah,
I
man.
didn't know you were there, man.
Yeah. So
I mean, I knew you were somewhere, but I didn't know
Right.
that's where the location was. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, a buddy of mine I was actually overseas with in Iraq. He owns it. I went in on it with him. I've been there since the start. Nat, he worked for Nat.
No
and
way.
Nat, and
Oh
Nat,
my
and Nat
God.
gave it to him when he retired. Nat's still alive, by the way.
Holy
So,
shit.
give us a little history on that building and that.
Just
So-
get a little closer, Joel. Just slide in a
Sorry.
little bit.
Yeah. So the building is. Well, I don't know how old the building is. It used to be like an ice cream shop, back in like the 30s or something, but it's been a barber shop for 60 some odd years,
That's
something
crazy.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, getting close to 70.
I mean,
I
I
think.
remember those guys when I was a child,
Yeah.
and then I remember those guys when I wasn't a child anymore, and then I remember obviously I haven't had a haircut in 20 years, but I know that I didn't know that either one of them are still alive. That's amazing. But
Yeah, well, Frank had passed a while ago,
Right.
like probably 20 some odd
Yeah,
years ago.
right.
Nat, as far as I know, is still around. He's in a home. People still call for him. Like,
serious?
Yeah, I think he's got to be close to 90 now. But yeah, people
And
call
people
for him.
still call the barbershop to get their haircut.
Yeah, we'll answer and we'll be like, "Oh, sorry, he's out shark fishing or like skydiving or whatever." But yeah, people still call for him.
Started a heavy metal band. He's
Right.
touring right now.
Pretty much.
That's crazy. Is he the one that used to smoke the cigarettes when he was cutting your hair, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever go in there?
I never got my hair cut there. I went down to my dad always took me to Niles Berkeley.
Oh yeah,
down there.
Berkeley. Yeah.
I mean,
He's still there.
I remember that place just being as like old school as it could possibly be.
It really was. I mean,
from the wallpaper to the mirrors to the chairs to the
Yeah.
guys cutting your hair, it was about, and like the haircut. Everything about it was old school. Like you're getting a part. Getting slicked one way or the other, man. Like,
they only knew
style.
one cut for sure. We still have the 3 original chairs he got in 1960.
That's cool.
Like on the dot. They're still there. They're very 60s looking.
Yeah.
They're like brown and tan, and but they still work great. They actually still have the holes in the armrest for ashtrays. Yeah. Obviously, we don't use them, but they're still there. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
great, man.
So you have your side thing. You travel around a lot and do a lot of teaching. Is that what you would call it, or
Yeah, so it's
consulting,
a little bit of that, a little bit of some other things. I guess the best way to describe it is I'm sponsored by a few companies like in the industry. So
equipment
yeah,
manufacturers, like kind of thing.
right. So one of them being a scissor company. They're the best-selling scissor company like in the world. Not that I'm shooting a plug or anything.
Why can't
but-
you find us scissor sponsors? Like we have all these crazy. Well, we don't have them anymore.
No, we still have them.
200 fucking episodes, and we don't have a single sponsor anymore.
We still have them. I just don't use them.
Not a single
Nobody-
dollar. This guy flies around. He's got scissors. Scissor people send him on plane rides to go show other people how to use scissors. But we have all this and nothing. So thanks. Again.
If you start
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Joel,
promoting,
I'm sidetracked.
promoting
Don't
the
give me that
shows a
shit.
little more.
So the deal is I have different contracts with different companies. One's like just a tool company, like combs, brushes,
Sure.
blow dryers, whatever. One's a scissor company, and then one's a beard care company. I do different things for each of them. My contracts vary. So like the comb and brush company, they will just give me stuff for free, like new products that come out, and then I just I'm like a market influencer. So I just put
fucking
it,
influencer.
I
dude.
just put it on. I just put it on the internet, and I get to keep it, and that's
yeah.
it. That's the deal. The beard care company, I have contracts through them with, like NASCAR, the 76ers, WWE wrestlers, and stuff like that. So whenever they're in town or they want their haircut, they contact the company, which is Meister's Classic, and they contact me and they go, "Hey, can you go down and cut so and so's hair?" So I'll travel for that a little bit.
So like when I see you at the farmer's market and I'm like, hey man, how you doing? What are you up to tonight? You're like, I'm gonna go to Philly. I gotta cut so and so's hair, and I'm like, what?
yeah. So-
Like, his, like his
awesome.
hair, or like you gotta cut somebody to look like it? No, I gotta cut his hair. Like,
yeah. So like
Okay.
I've done those
I'll be in
events
bed
and
by 8
stuff.
o'clock tonight. Thanks.
Like I missed this year in Pocono for NASCAR, but usually when Pocono comes around, I go to Pocono. I've cut Austin Dillon, Bubba Wallace, and Ricky Stenhouse, and their pit crews and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
And some executives from the Sixers and those kind of things. So, and then the last is the scissor company, who I teach for. So I'm a national educator for them. They essentially a barbershop, a salon, or a school will contact them. They request me personally to come out and just teach them men or women's cuts.
No kidding.
And so they just pay me like a day rate. They fly me, all expenses paid. Like I don't pay anything to do it. So, yeah,
I really like.
That's fun.
that's my life.
You don't pay anything and get paid to do it, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
so that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, you went into the military right after high school?
Yeah, I was actually still in high school, so I like signed or whatever that was, delayed entry program. So I was 17. My mom had to like sign with me. After I graduated, I went away to basic training and pretty much got deployed a bunch of times, like immediately following. But that was cool, I guess.
I suppose.
It's an experience.
Depends on how you look
Sure.
at it, Joel.
Side note, I went to basic training with Pat Tillman.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I was there with him, so at Fort Benning back in 2002.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you know my cousin, Steve Moya, at all? I don't know. You
know.
were probably around the same time as him. I'm not sure. Weren't
No.
they?
I don't know, but I mean, it's a pretty big organization.
Yeah.
I know, but
I mean,
They're
unless
both
he
from
was
the
sorry,
same
I'm just
area.
calling him
unless he
out.
was in my unit, like
they're from the same area. You know what I mean? I don't know
guess.
how this shit works. I didn't
Yes,
do it.
dude. I don't know. I don't know where you come up with like. That was an interesting. They're not the same age,
Roughly, yeah. How old are you?
roughly.
37.
I'm 35.
Yeah. Steve's 36.
Steve's a year older than I am, and Joel's 2 years younger than I am. So, whatever.
Roughly the same age.
Sorry, I didn't think that they'd know each other. I would have started with that, being as how important it really is. Oh my God. Sorry.
No, so did you how did you get into haircutting? Is what I was getting at.
Yeah, so
Did it start in the military?
No, my aunt she's been cutting hair forever, right? So I've watched her my whole life cut hair, and when I got to Fort Stewart, I don't know why, but I thought maybe like I could cut hair. I was like, oh, I've seen it. Like it looks easy, right? So I was like just ruining guys' sex lives, like one haircut at a time.
What does it matter?
You know
What are they
what I
gonna
mean?
do?
So, but like that's kind of where I thought maybe I'd be into it, and also kind of like the desperation of like not knowing like what I wanted to do in life. I joined the military pretty much because I was an awful high school student. I had no prospects going forward. So when I came home, my aunt was like, well, why don't you try some hair? You know, like, oh, that sounds decent. So I wanted to be a barber originally, but she was teaching at a cosmetology school at the Reading Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, come here, you can learn both. And I was, that sounds good. And I pretty much learned no men's hair while I was there, but so I had to teach myself that part. But yeah, I mean, I love it. Now I can do both. So it kind of worked out in that favor.
I'd say.
Yeah.
I'd say it worked out pretty well, bud.
Yeah, that's awesome. Man.
That's really cool. I mean, the obviously the fact that you're good at what you do is cool.
Oh,
And you have your own thing going on, but like flying around and traveling around and shit, that's
it's
some pretty like teaching somebody else how to do something.
It's rewarding.
It's pretty
yeah, for sure. Like
That's
it's
awesome.
definitely rewarding for me.
Sure.
I think it's a totally different landscape, right? As like just being talented at something and being able to like concisely
Impart your
give the
wisdom upon
information.
somebody else.
Is a
Yeah.
totally different thing, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I know plenty of really talented people, but they couldn't explain what they're doing to save their lives,
Right.
Or at least well enough to make sure someone else can replicate it.
Right.
But yeah, it took a long time though, because I've been cutting for 12 years ish, and like 9 of those years I was just like cutting in my basement. I wasn't working in a
But
shop.
I mean, how many bartenders and
Sure.
that's what that is the end game. Like
Yeah, right.
It's not like Nat and Frank, for instance, probably didn't see themselves flying around.
Yeah.
training a bunch of ladies how to cut.
Yeah. So
a fade. Like, and here you are sitting here, and then you're flying. Going to somewhere else to cut somebody else's hair. Like, no, you have a shop and you have 3 chairs, and
Right.
the people come in and you cut their hair, then they go home, and then you go home.
Right.
But
it was crazy because I didn't like that wasn't my profession for
Right.
the longest time. So I was it was a lot of odd jobs until I came home from Iraq in 2009, and then I went to school. I went to Penn State to get my bachelor's in biochemistry,
Right.
and I was a
nerd, dude.
yeah, I was an analytical chemist for a little bit, and then I was an engineer for a little bit. All the while still cutting hair, but like
Up until very recently, like you were doing that up until only a couple of years ago.
Yeah. It's like 2016
Right.
is when Stag opened, So, and then
That's quite a bit of transition, buddy.
yeah,
Military.
Well, it's mostly because I just didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I was
keep
just-
throwing darts until
I was
something
like, oh,
sticks.
that looks cool. I'll try that. But I always
You'll pay me to do what? Yeah, okay.
and I wasn't even on like social media until like when Stag opened.
Right.
Like that was when I was like, well, if I'm gonna try to do this for real, do hair for a living, let's do it right. So like put all my time and money and effort into advertising and branding and like
And would you say that's helped you?
100%. I mean, social media, like, it's free.
Right.
So you'd be an
You
idiot
have
to
a
not utilize
Pretty cool
it.
presence on. I mean, like, I don't
Yeah.
have. Here's an example. I don't have hair. I follow his most of every account that he has, and make comments and like and share shit that I have no real skin in the game for. Like, I'm never gonna have hair again. It's something I've had to deal with, and now I have to sit here and be upset because I can't have him cut my hair.
You could have hair. It's
You
coming
could-
in the
You
back.
can,
Grow a beard.
you can get this cleaned up
Grow a
right
beard.
here.
Don't
Yeah.
tell me that I need to shave, Kim.
No, I'm just
I'm in
saying,
my
you-
own home, and
Bro.
you're telling me I need to shave.
Grow it out, and we
You
can
have hair
like.
here.
Yeah, like he is some.
It comes
facial hair
in
going
too
on.
funny.
No,
Yeah, it comes in all weird. I need to lose weight. It
Sounds
comes
like
in
excuses
like
to
I'm
me.
fat, so it comes in sparse.
He's full of excuses.
It's like when you
Joel.
blow up a. I don't know. I don't know. If you,
I remember
if you had a furry basketball and you inflated it too much.
I remember when I was starting like all my social media stuff, and I had sent you like an invite to,
Yeah.
to like my stuff, and you wrote me back. You're like, "Why would I do that? I don't have hair." And I was like, "Cause you're my friend. You should follow just to help me. Like it's just numbers,
Oh, yeah.
you know." And you're like, "Good point. Good point."
What you told me before? What's your age? What age do you start cutting hair? Like what?
I generally have like on my scheduling app 10 plus.
Okay.
Not that I won't do less. Like if it's like a friend or
Yeah,
someone I
yeah.
know, or like I know the kid and I know they'll sit well. It's just like
No,
I don't want strangers like randomly like
yeah.
Right.
just booking their 5-year-old or 4-year-old
Right.
that
Come
won't
run
sit
around
well.
your shop and
Yeah, also-
terrorize everybody.
Yeah, also because like it's not a good look for me as the artist, right? Because if they move and I screw their hair up, then like that's on me. Like then they're gonna look at this kid's jacked up cut and go
Right.
like, "Who cut this kid?"
Yeah.
Why is there
Oh,
scissors
Joel did. And they're
hanging
like,
out
"Ah,
of his head?"
yeah, right." So it's like a safety thing. It's like it's a branding thing for me.
Sure.
Like I just don't want like. I think 10's an age where I can, at the very least, like whisper creepily into that kid's ear, like, "If you move again, I'm gonna punch you in the face."
Grip
right?
him
Like,
up.
yeah, right.
Spin him around
Yeah.
real slow.
And they understand, right? And they're like, "Oh,
Johnny, why's your face turning red?
See how
No
sharp
reason,
he-
mommy. No reason.
yeah."
See how sharp these scissors are, kid?
Yeah. There's a whole tub of that blue stuff back in the back. You want to go take a look at it?
Hey, want some Gatorade?
So
What
is
is
it all
that
by
boost?
appointments?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, I wouldn't turn away a walk in, but I'm at the point in my career, you know, at the sake of not sounding too douchey, like I'm booked
You have
every
your
day. I'm
clientele.
booked like generally a week out is like my current situation, so it's kind of tough to get with me like within a week.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't turn one away, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, like I don't get the chance to even.
Right.
So yeah, I guess I would say by appointment only.
Yeah, I remember messaging you a while ago to get a haircut. I was like, I need a haircut in the next couple of days. You're like, dude, I'm booked for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Give you
fuck.
3 phone numbers and somebody else to call.
Yeah, I'll get guys like some people like call the shop or like DM me or like whatever, and you know, like, hey man, I want to get a haircut with you. I'm like, cool, that's awesome. Like, I appreciate it. And like,
What are you doing in August?
Yeah, or well, they'll like tell me, they'll go, yeah, I'll be in at 5, like today. I'm like, what do you? Yeah, I can't really facilitate that, man. Some people get really upset about it, but I mean, I can't really do anything.
Tough.
Yeah,
That's
sorry,
That's the way
man.
business works, man. That's
Yeah, I
great.
mean, would you sit with a tattoo artist that could take you immediately? Like if you walked in, like I'd be a little suspect of
Concerned.
that.
Yeah, right.
Like I don't know.
Yeah. Again, another problem that I don't have. No tattoos and no hair.
Yeah.
We do head shaves, you know.
Listen, I can shave my head. I just choose not to.
But then you get these soft hands, you know, all over your.
Do you put
Scalp.
lotion on it? Yeah, but I
can.
gotta wait till fucking August. I'm sure. Set me up.
I'm sure I could squeeze you in for a head shave somewhere.
All right. Well,
Our guest Kyle goes to Stag all the time.
he does.
was
I
pretty
think
upset that
furious
he
that
wasn't
he's
going to be
not
here.
here today.
Yeah, he was. He was
was
in
pissed.
like yesterday or
Yeah.
2 days ago or something. He actually had to sit with Shawnee, one of the other barbers in the shop, because he couldn't find a time with me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is Kyle a walk-in guy?
No, he's not.
Thinks he
He
can
he
just
usually
come in.
schedules, but I guess he just procrastinated a little
Yeah.
too much this time and tried to get in with me, and he couldn't. And then he just sat with Shawnee. It's funny because as soon as he walked in the door, he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm not cheating on you. I just couldn't get." And I was like, "It's okay, man. It's okay."
Like,
Shawnee's
like the hair's
great.
gonna stop growing if they don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's a bummer though because you want to be available to everybody, but
Right.
like
Is it just you and 2 or 3 other? I mean, what? You and 2 other guys there?
there's 4 of us total. There's Dwayne, the guy that owns the place. There's me. I manage it for him, and then Sean and Cisco are the other 2 barbers. They're not fresh out of school, but they've been cutting for I don't know about 2 or 3 years now. But they're getting really good too. You know, I've been cutting for 12. I think Dwayne's around like 6 years. He's into it. He got into it late in life. He was a cop before, and then like changed it up. I don't really know his
Going to
story.
the barbershop.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
there must be money in it, man. You set your own price and kind of make your
Yeah.
own. If you're good, they just keep coming. Everybody needs a haircut.
well, that's the thing, right?
except for Jim, except for me. I realized that as I was saying that sentence.
Yeah, because some people just don't. I don't know if they just don't do the math or like they don't understand it. But a lot of people just like assume you cut hair, you don't really like make money. Just behind the chair. I mean,
I'd imagine if you're proficient and
well, right.
good at it, and now typically people tip you,
Yeah, for sure.
right? It's a tippable type
Absolutely.
service. So, and I would have to say your base, your client base is pretty much all a lot of friends.
Yeah. I'd say
Started
it started for
as
sure,
a lot of friends,
for sure.
and then grew by their friends and where
Sure, yeah,
organically.
absolutely.
So I would say you probably make pretty good money tip wise. Plus, I'm sure you're not charging $5 for a fucking haircut.
No, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Again, I don't even know what a haircut goes for.
like, cause I,
Yeah, like $11.
yeah, I think
My child's haircut was $20. Oh well, I took him over to Kids Cuts because
Yeah.
that's the only place he'll sit still. And that was 13, and we give him 20.
Yeah.
Keep the change. 'Cause, I mean,
I'd say that $7,
$7, lady. Thanks for not stabbing my kid while he turned around and tried to bite at you. Like,
Yeah, I'd say the average like in Berkscounty right now is like $20 for like a men's cut. Not at a salon, like at a barbershop. I charge $25, so with tip, I usually get like 30, and then every 30 minutes I do a cut. So you're talking like 18 to 20 people a day
yeah,
at
that's a
$30
beautiful thing, man.
a pop. So that's, if you do the math, it's pretty.
It's better than a bartender.
It's pretty awesome. So yeah,
That is cool.
And that doesn't count all the other stuff you do either. With the
yeah, that has nothing to do
traveling,
with my
So,
day rate.
Roughly then. Okay, so that's how you have a day rate for like a club, you're doing a club or a team or
Right.
or a pit crew or something like that. You're telling them, $500 a day or $800 a day or something like that.
Sure.
And you cut as many people as they have.
Right.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. And then I get paid on the days that like I'm traveling too.
Sure.
Just because like it's taking away from time I could be cutting.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Sure.
right. So
Very
I charge
good,
them.
man.
I charge them for each day.
And do they give you like tickets to the events and shit then too, or?
Yeah, totally. Like I have like at my station, like I have hanging off my mirror like all my badges from like the pit pass from
Yeah.
like NASCAR
Backstages
and
and
like
shit.
yeah, right. And, like my Sixers passes,
All your
hanging there
credentials.
and
That's
stuff
awesome.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have all that stuff too for like army bases and stuff to go sell garage doors. Does anybody want to go see him at my desk? My life is so fun. Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm glad everything's working out for you. It really is cool
I
to see.
appreciate it.
From back in the days, throwing eggs off of the back porch of the ends to you've come a long way.
Yeah, we were
So-
talking. We were talking. I forget who it was. Marcus and I were talking about how you were our bouncer
Security.
at our parties.
I was the bouncer. So.
I used to throw parties at my grandmother's when we were in high school, and they were all the rage. And we would post up Jimmy like right in the foyer.
17 years
Yeah.
old. Good times, man.
That was pretty ridiculous.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. It's amazing I never ended up getting arrested at any point with anybody because we did a lot of really dumb shit.
For sure.
So
Not just with
crazy.
you, but mostly with him.
I'm surprised.
A
I
lot
haven't
with
been arrested
Crater.
more.
It's all, yeah, you've been arrested, so you can't really say that. I've been fortunate enough to avoid it. So, sorry, Kim. I don't know how many, I
How
don't
many
know-
times have you been
I don't know how many
arrested?
times
Yeah.
you've seen the inside of a cop car.
I was pretty close twice, but I got out of it.
Pretty close twice.
Yes.
Do I even want to know what you were doing that
No, it wasn't even
precipitated
that
a
bad.
police
I mean, I
officer to
remember-
bother you?
The first time was when I first met Brian, and we were going to Harrisburg to go to a club, and he said, "Oh, I'm not going to drink anything, so go ahead and drink." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So we're leaving, and I see him pounding back drinks, and he doesn't drink to begin with. So he's like, "Kim, I can't drive." I'm like, "You son of a bitch," because we were only together a couple weeks. I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'm going to drive." So then where I had to go to this person's house was like 40-minute drive, and I was already lit. Driving, and this car was behind us. I said, and there was another couple with us. So they were in the back. Brian and I were up front, and we're driving. And I said, "I think that's a cop car." And he's like, no, it's not. You're fine.
No,
well, then the people in the back are giving
then
him
it
the
was definitely
finger.
a cop car
And I
then.
said, I know this is a cop car. They're like tailgating me. So then all of a sudden,
The people in the
like,
backseat were
yeah,
giving the cops
yeah.
a finger.
As soon as somebody in your car says no,
Yeah.
it's not a cop car.
And I know that it
magically
is.
turns into a fucking
Yeah.
cop car. I mean, that's just a rule of nature.
So I get, so the lights go on. I'm like, oh my gosh. All I can think about is I'm going to lose my job. Okay. Because when you work in the healthcare, if
And
you
your
get in
friends
trouble,
the back seat are gonna
you're
get their heads
done.
beat in.
So I get out of the car. You know, I have my little tiny tank top party shirt
Oh,
on,
yeah.
and you know what I mean? And they're like, oh, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, oh, going good. Were you drinking? I'm like, yeah, I had 1 or 2 drinks. Oh, where are you coming from? Just a friend's house. And then they're like, can you get out of the car, please? Sure. So I get out. And I'm trying to play cool the whole entire time, and I was. And then I don't know, I want to say it was troopers, because do they have to wear a hat?
Yeah. State
Yeah,
Like,
state
other
troopers
cops
will
don't,
have
right?
that.
I thought you were talking about the
State
bar.
troopers
I mean,
wear hats.
state
I
troopers,
don't know.
I think,
Yeah.
have to have, typically, every
Well,
state trooper I've ever seen.
So
has had their-
and these 2 guys were on the
And
younger
they have
side.
that little
Strappy
chin
thing.
strap under their like.
I don't remember all
Yeah.
of that, but
Makes no sense.
so they have their hats on and they're looking at me, and you know, it's in November. It was the day after Thanksgiving, I think it was. And I'm in this little tank top. It's like freezing outside. So anyways, they're asking me all these questions. Oh, where are you going? What were you doing? I'm like, oh, I was at a friend's house. And you can tell I'm not at a friend's house looking like this. So then they're like, okay, well, you're going to have to blow into this machine. And I'm like, okay. And I'm about to like lose my mind. But I remember blowing in the machine, and they're like, okay, well, you're going to need to blow in this machine. I'm like, okay. So here I am. They put it in my mouth, and I just go real quick. And the cops are like, honey, you got to blow harder than that. So I'm going to tell you how long you need to blow for. And I'm like, all right. So I think they were just messing with me at this point. So then they're like, okay, blow, 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 blow. And I'm like, and then they're reading the machine. They're looking at me, reading the machine again. And they're like, I'm like, listen, I literally live right up here at the corner. And literally it was this couple's home where they live right up the street. So they're like, okay, fine, fine, fine. So they let me get back into the car, luckily. They follow me home. I get in the car, and Brian's like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, let's go. So we go in. We're there for a little bit, and I'm like freaking out just because of the night and some other things that were going on. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have my license anymore, because I was looking for it. And don't you hear a knock at the door? Here comes the cops. Ma'am, you forgot your license. And they could see that I don't live here, because it says Reading, Pennsylvania, and I'm in like Harrisburg area. But anyways,
What's more
I got
confusing
luck.
is why you're in the stranger's house and why they left you in.
Yeah, I luckily got, yeah.
They didn't give you any type of right.
No,
No,
because they weren't a
nothing.
drunken asshole like you would be.
No, I know. I was definitely over the
Where are your
limit.
shoes?
Johnny and Hunt's.
Do you know where you are, sir?
The parking lot of Johnny and Hunt's. Where else would I be? Here in Mount Penn. sir.
Carsonia Avenue is where you are.
The mean streets of
Block
Carsonia.
from Bixler's is where you're at.
Yeah, I was almost right across the street from Bixler's.
Yeah. Good times, bud.
Yep.
That's how you get arrested, Kim.
I know where Bixler's Lodge is.
Well, I hit the first car that you could possibly hit on Carsonia Avenue.
Well, right in that, like,
Like right across
because there's a
the
lot of
street
streets
from,
coming in that point.
No, right across the
You
street from
should see it
Bixler's.
when you're drunk. It's
Oh,
twice
no,
as
I'm,
many
not,
streets.
I'm thinking of it was across the street from what's at the airport now? Klingers.
Clingers.
Yeah. It was
Used to,
across
used to be Malibu.
Yeah.
Malibu,
right?
yeah.
Then it was.
Maxwell's or something.
What was the wing place?
It was
Malibu's
Wings.
was down.
Reading
like the
Wings
airport.
or-
He's talking about Clingers on Carsonia.
Yeah, on Carsonia.
Oh,
Oh, that
yeah.
was Maxie's.
Maxie's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
That was Max's.
It's right
store.
Yeah.
across the street from there, where I hit.
Wild Wing Cafe was the
That's
one
right.
place, buddy.
Yeah, with the suicide wings.
Oh my god!
Back when wings.
Wings were wings.
I guess. I don't know where I was
As if
going.
there was a golden age of wings.
There
like-
was. It was a great time to be alive for a wing guy like myself. There was certainly no question where to go for wings. So, well, that's great, man. I'm happy that you came in. I'm happy that you're doing well.
Thanks, man.
It's good to follow you on Facebook. Good to see the family's doing well.
Yeah.
So,
Big things there. So
you got a hell of a baseball player.
yeah, my son.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he's nasty.
What's up?
Oh, so you don't even know about
No.
that.
So my son, he just graduated
Okay.
from Muhlenberg last month. He has a full ride to Millersville for baseball.
Nice.
He's 2-time preseason All-American, All-Region, All County.
What position?
He pitches.
Nice.
He throws like 90 to 93.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Amazingly.
So he's been dominating like the county. He played for the Evo Shield Canes, which is like a travel team, like
Okay.
national level. He played in the underclass nationals twice. His coach was Billy Wagner, the pitcher for the Phillies and the Mets, and I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a closer, but yeah, he was nasty. He threw like 100.
Of course I am.
But yeah, so that was his coach for a while. Like big things.
Right.
Top
That's
500
awesome.
That's
prospect.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
So he's going to Millersville in the fall, which
Yes.
I'm assuming is like next month.
Yeah, he
So he's probably playing baseball like right now.
he is. He's playing senior legion ball for the Muhlenberg A's right now.
Muhlenberg, yeah.
Yeah. Just
How far are they, or what are they? Is there a playoffs? In the
yeah,
team?
actually, so last night he pitched against Fleetwood. They won 2-0, and they are not today. I don't know, like in a couple days, they're playing the championship for the county
Nice.
for the Schuylkill Berks League, and then regionals start next week or the end of this week.
So is there a possibility that he'll be playing baseball yet when he gets into Millersville?
No, they have to. I think the baseball team reports August 22nd. Athletes, I guess, move in August
Oh,
22nd
okay.
So they have
at
to switch
Millersville.
over to-
But I mean, he doesn't. Does he play baseball in the fall? There
He'll do preseason stuff.
in the fall,
Yeah.
and then get ready for this. Like,
Yeah, they work out.
opposite of
They work
football,
out in the
wait,
fall. In the winter, I think they'll
Running
give them a
and
little bit of
conditioning and
time
shit.
off, and then then they'll do preseason stuff. So like January, I think late January they're going to Texas for like a spring or
spring training.
spring training essentially, and then North Carolina after that, and then back home to start the season.
Nice.
So yeah,
Great, man.
That is awesome. You must be proud.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
That is
definitely. What's
Yeah.
he majoring in?
Accounting.
Yep.
He wants to be a CPA if the baseball thing falls through. But he's projected to be drafted his junior year of college, which is the first year you're eligible if you
That's
go to
amazing.
college for baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's awesome.
yeah,
So like, people are calling the house, wanting to talk to him or you or anybody, or like.
they were. I mean, up until he signed. So in November last year, he signed his letter of intent
With
for
Millersville.
Millersville. He had a lot of like D1 looks too. Like the Auburn coach came out to see him to talk to him and
Really?
stuff when we were in Georgia for nationals. But a lot of the D1 schools, so like baseball doesn't get a ton of money
Sure.
for like from
Football
the
or
NCAA, right?
basketball or anything.
So they give you like, I don't know what it is, but just say it's like, hey, you get 20 scholarships, total, right?
Mhm.
Which is probably a lot more, but let's just say it is. And then like the school gets to divvy it out to the sports.
right.
So if it's a big football school,
Sure.
football's going to get a ton of them. Baseball's not overly popular
Oh,
in college.
And even on in Albright, for instance.
Yeah.
Albright will throw you money as an athlete and tell everybody else that they're not. I mean,
Sure.
they can't give out athletic scholarships, but if they want an athlete for a special, like for football, for instance, there's ways of getting grants and
Sure.
and so
Right,
Yeah.
but so
It's just-
so baseball doesn't get a lot, and what happens a lot of times is some of the bigger schools that just try to ride their name. So like
Sure.
like the Auburn coach when he was talking to Dylan, he's like, "Hey, we want you," and then Dylan's like, "Well, how much money are you gonna put towards my tuition?" And they were
Right.
like, "Well, nothing. You're like preferred walk on. We'll just promise that you'll make the roster. You don't have to try out.
Yeah.
We'll take you, and then we'll talk money like as you start progressing or playing, which is cool and all, but like he doesn't want to pay for college.
Right.
So, so and baseball's different from football. You don't have to play D1 to
I was
get
just gonna say
drafted.
that, like, so at
Yeah.
Millersville, people are gonna see him pitch regardless of how
Yeah.
the rest of his team look.
Yeah, I mean, I think without getting too into stats, like I think 2018, it was like equal amounts of D1 and D2 drafts.
In the drafts,
It was like 200 some
Yeah.
each. So there's not like a huge divide.
right?
So it doesn't really
Doesn't
like
matter
matter
where you
in
go.
that capacity. Also, if you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, that's number one.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm super pumped about that.
As a parent, you probably should be. Yeah, I'm already praying for that myself, and I got about 17 years to worry about it. So
It's a shame Jeff's not here. Could have talked baseball.
Baseball's my thing. Love it. Yeah,
Jeff coaches baseball, little league
Littles.
baseball.
Oh,
his
nice.
kids.
Yeah. And we've had to listen to it for the last two.
I think he's
last two times.
I think he's
he was-
baseballed out. I don't know how much
Yeah.
baseball talk there would have been if he would have been here anyway.
I played at Penn State Berks when I went to college, which is weird because I was like 30.
I was gonna say that was only like 5 or 6 years ago, dude.
Yeah, it was. I graduated in 2014.
That was right before the engineering
Right.
scheme. Not
Scheme.
Phase was the word I was looking for, not
Yeah.
scheme.
Uh,
I apologize.
yeah, I'm just scheming.
You're scheming,
my whole life away.
you're scheming engineer you.
I'm like this weird sociopath that just keeps trying to figure out ways to get around
social
things.
schemer, social engineering schemer.
Yeah, that was weird because like I walked on, I was like 29 or like almost 30, and like there were like
Bunch of
18-year-olds
17 and 18
getting like
year-olds.
cut from the team.
They thought you were going to be.
And they were like, what the hell? Yeah. Well, I went to spring training,
Like,
right?
unnecessary roughness.
It is. I went to spring training with the team in Myrtle. We were down in Myrtle for spring training, and I played the first game of that. Like it wasn't a tournament, but like
Right.
you know what I mean, just a bunch of exhibition games.
Yeah.
But I played the first game. I played second base, and you're shaking another team's hand after the game, and it's like they had to see me on the field,
Bunch
but
of
like they're
kids.
shaking my hand. They're like game coach, good game coach, and I'm like, oh man, like
Why is this guy? Why is this team got a player coach?
yeah, it's like back in the 30s, it's like where the manager still plays.
We're shorthanded. Get Joel down here. Come down out of the stands and dust your arm off.
Equally as awesome. The first 2 years I was there, I played lacrosse, and I was like basically the same size I am now, and I'm like crushing like high school seniors basically, just like wow, yeah.
Twigs running down the field.
I hit a kid one time at we were playing St. John's, and I played defense. I was on the right side, and this kid was coming around X, so like behind the goal, he's coming this way, and on defense you can cut through the crease, the goalie crease, like in lacrosse, on your own team, but you
Right.
can't if like you're on offense, right? So he's like running around the circle, and I cut through it, and he doesn't even see me.
Angle of
Right,
attack.
and I hit him so hard. He's just imagine a little 18-year-old kid, and I'm 30, right? And like this, like army build,
Yeah,
right?
truck hit a
I hit this kid. He looks like he explodes because he's in the air. His gloves come off. His stick flies. His helmet
Oh, he's
sideways.
dead.
Yeah,
Oh, that
and
guy's
he's just
dead.
like he lands like a squirrel falling off a
It was just
a line.
a
you know?
poof of orange smoke, and he was gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny, man.
So is there no age limit, like if you go back to college or whatever?
No,
Yeah, you're
no,
eligible for 4
everyone
years
on the
of sport.
planet has 4 years of
That's
eligibility.
great.
So if
Do
you
you
went to
remember-
college right now, you could play.
That guy was
some kids.
the player. The guy
You'd
who
enjoy
played
it
for
too much.
Kutztown, like, not too long ago.
Oh yeah,
I want to say he was in his late 30s or 40s playing
yeah.
Where?
Kutztown.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think he was a kicker. I mean, I wouldn't see. I'm 37. I still have 3 years of eligibility for football. I've only used one. I can tell you that
Come on,
I
let's
will
see
not
you.
go back and
Come
play
on.
at 37 years
Suit
old.
up.
I don't
Because
think
there'll be a 20-year-old that would whoop my ass right now. I remember my first year playing as an 18-year-old, and there was a dude there that was a fifth-year senior that was redshirted or whatever his freshman year. So he didn't play his freshman year, stayed in school an extra year, and could play as a 23-year-old.
Okay.
And was a fucking man-child. Fucking guy was a giant.
Hoj.
No, but I mean, similar build. And I mean, the offensive line drills, and that's who I got the luck to draw. I'm up against this guy, and I'm just like, I was a big dude. I was one of the
Yeah, for
strongest
sure.
guys in the team. And he fucking manhandled me. Like, I wanted to cry. It was fucking brutal. So,
Did you quit?
no. I got through my whole first year. I just didn't enjoy it. So, it wasn't fun at all. Waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
So like actually working on it, or is it What you didn't like about it?
No, it was it was the middle of spring, and they were waking us up at 4:00 in the morning to run up the fucking mountain like every other weekend. Just shit I didn't want to be involved in. I was too busy getting fucked up with you.
Yeah.
Fucking-
Yeah. I remember a few times coming to Albright for sure.
Is that where you went, Albright? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
Yipper.
was at Albright a couple times as well.
Good times.
Didn't you
Very good
was it like your first year there? Your dorm was like right on the street, like on that corner right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Smith Hall.
On the little hill there.
Yeah,
pull
yeah,
right
yeah.
around the corner.
Uh-huh.
Mhm. Good times. Good times.
My niece goes there right now. She got the Shirk scholarship.
I had shirt.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What is the Shirk scholarship?
10 or 20 grand or something along those lines.
How do you get it though?
Gotta be fucking
And
awesome.
you got it. You got
They
it.
actually named it after me.
Yeah.
Jimmy the Shirk, Adam.
Yeah. That's it.
I thought they give like 2 to each school district, don't they? I mean, I could be completely wrong.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
I don't
Kim.
remember.
Yeah.
Why would it be the shirk? What the fuck is a shirk?
What is a Shirk?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't
Why
know.
would it be
It's
Jimmy
probably
the
s-
shirk? Why not just shirk?
It sounds like a thing.
It sounds better. Jimmy Shirk, Adam. Jimmy the,
The
Shirk.
shirk. It's okay.
It does have a better flow.
Because
to
it is the Shirk scholarship.
You're right.
You're right.
It's not just shirk scholarship. Anyway,
How do
I'm
you
sorry.
get it?
I told you already. You have to be fucking awesome. Hence how I got it. How do you get it, Kim?
I don't even know if I remember everything.
You have to have above a 3.0. You have to have a bunch of
Yeah, like there's certain criteria you
Yeah.
have to qualify for to be.
end.
Yeah, but I know she
Yeah.
doesn't.
Awesome.
She, I think only had to pay for food there.
Hmm.
Otherwise, she has pretty much a full ride. So,
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
right?
One was
I mean,
a
it's
full- you're right.
different. You know, when we
There
went
was
to
one
college,
for 20
so
and one for 10 because the tuition was
much cheaper.
well, it was 23, and then by the time I left,
Yeah.
it was 33.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, that doesn't matter. Good times.
That's great.
Good times. Remember when Alti had? Did you ever go to an Alti party in there?
No.
Crater.
Probably.
I mean,
I would assume so.
he'd just have a keg in the
Yeah.
in, like the same size room as my dorm in the fucking room, and like he was an RA,
Well,
so nobody gave a shit. Like
that
he didn't
dude-
give a shit.
I feel like that dude was just like always cool, and no one cared what he ever did. Like they were,
Alti?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. People were just like, "We love you," and
Yeah.
you just go ahead. That's fine. Whatever you want to do.
I guess.
Yeah.
Now he's a fucking actor.
Yeah, he is.
Really?
Now I'll be watching NBC, and he's on fucking NBC.
Is he
Really?
doing, was
Goddamn,
was
yeah.
he doing some like stand up too? And like I heard
I
that.
didn't think
don't know.
I didn't think stand up. I know he was
No?
on. He get. What was he just on? Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
yeah.
He was just on
Yeah.
that.
He's been in a bunch of
bunch
stuff.
of shows,
like
yeah.
just one-liners.
But
usually.
like shows that like I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Sure.
And I'm like typically he'll post like, hey, or his friends will post, saw you in this or that. But I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and like it was the whole chunk of like the first part of the show was him talking to the main characters.
That's
like,
awesome.
That's fun.
That's fucking awesome.
My
I love that
brother-
show.
Yeah, it's
he was
great.
in that Santa. What's it called? Santa Clarita Diet
Yeah.
or whatever. And he had a scene with Drew Barrymore, and he hurt her. Like she went to jump on his back, and he dropped her or something. And he actually made like the Tonight Show or something because she was talking about how she got hurt, and then he was on there like they're
That's too
talking
funny.
about how Alton dropped her and
Amazing.
hurt Drew Barrymore.
Yep.
That is cool.
Berks County's finest.
My brother Rich, he went to Exeter, but he was in North Shore back in the day,
Mm.
and he had a little bit of a speaking part, and he was also in the it was the popular show when the plane crashed and they were on this island
Lost?
for a while. Yeah, he was on Lost too,
yeah?
and he had a couple lines. Yeah, it's funny.
That
He was in
might-
the flashback of Sawyer.
That might have been the first time I ever saw anyone not remember like the name of that show.
Lost.
I
Yeah.
know. I
I've
should
never
know,
watched it.
huh?
You just tried. You explained.
I
it
know,
to
I couldn't
figure
even
out,
think of
like,
it right
That was the
now.
first time anyone in
My
my
wife
existence.
and I watched that. Like we were.
I watched the
swear to
first
God,
season, that's
we
it.
were sick or
As-
something, and we started watching it and watched like non-stop binge watching it for like this is before Carter for a couple days,
Mm-hmm.
and then we watched the end, and I was just like, I was ready to fucking
You
kill somebody.
skipped?
No. We watched the entire like seven.
Oh.
We watched all 7 seasons in like the course of maybe a month,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so fucking mad about the end of it. And then we watched it again.
You
The
did?
whole thing. From start to
Why?
finish. I don't know.
I've never seen an episode.
I don't make
of
a
it.
lot of decisions in
Yeah,
my house,
neither
Kim.
have I, but I mean,
I still know what the premise is.
but yeah, but I've also never.
Do you? Because I've seen
Well,
it twice,
I
and I
mean,
still
from
don't
that-
really know what the premise
Because
is.
the
the
explanation
the way
that-
you,
I know I should
the way
know
you
it.
went about it was as if like it was just a blip on the social map.
Yeah.
As in, like, oh, what was that one
Yeah,
show?
what was that?
Not that
Just this
epic
little
show that
show.
everybody has seen. Like, what's the name of that one?
Well, if you want to look back on it, I remember him being at
I'm
a
never
gas
going
station.
back to that show,
You
Kim.
have to now, okay? The gas station with Sawyer's flashback.
Okay.
They made my brother look like a complete nerd. Like he has this like button-up collared shirt on, but yeah. Anyways, you have to check it out.
I will.
It is
We
cool.
had,
I mean, it's cool when you see people
All
on
right,
TV.
Yeah.
I'll go watch that if you promise. When I used to work at Johnny and Huns, Carla worked there. Carla was in Top Gun. She was in the Air Force
What?
on the Air Force carrier.
Carla,
Yeah,
not
Carla.
Carla from Bruno's, not her, right?
Big
Yeah, the big one.
blonde hair,
Oh, no, not the
sharp
same one.
pointy teeth.
Nope.
I don't know Carla from Johnny and Huns.
You wouldn't. I'm just being a smartass, but she was actually real, and she used to bring. I swear to God,
It's real.
she used
She's
to bring
real.
the VHS of Top Gun into the bar and show us the part.
Really?
Where she was standing there in like her flight in her jacket
Mm-hmm.
on the flight deck when they were
When they
recording that.
scanned
the,
past
when
it.
it was like the B-roll for the
Yeah.
Top Gun movie.
Do you
yeah.
remember Mrs. Keir from
Yeah.
Milton?
Yeah.
You remember when we had to watch that movie that she was in?
Hairspray.
She was Hairspray. Yeah, she was
Yes.
She was
an
in
extra in Hairspray.
Yeah, I
remember
And they,
that.
like same thing. They scrolled past
There I
it
am.
I remember
It's coming up.
that.
It's coming up. Shh, everybody. Shh.
because they filmed at Hershey Park or something. And she just
Oh,
happened
she
to
was
be there.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody asked you to be here.
Well, there was what show was Scotty on? Scotty Michael.
Oh, The Hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got turned down
Yeah,
by
he
like
was-
the main character. Like he
I
was
think
like
he was
hitting
a
on her.
drunken idiot in a
Yeah.
bar, and she was talking.
she was like,
Oh, yeah?
Somebody.
Oh yeah, I do remember him posting
And
that.
then
Yeah,
Kelly was on Wipeout.
Oh yeah.
I think right around the same time or a couple years after.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that show like that obstacle course. Then?
Yes. No. Yes.
Incredible.
Incredible would be the
Yeah.
best way to describe it. Yeah. So. But yeah, that's it. Those are all the famous people to ever come out of Muhlenberg.
Yep.
That's not true.
No, besides you and them. I mean, that's
No,
it.
we the other day some friends and I were trying to like recall some like
Make a list.
some notable names from Berks County.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
Well,
kind of
who else did
reminiscent.
you come up with?
Well, I mean,
Besides
there's,
those five
there's,
people.
I thought
there's
I would've thought
obviously
that was it.
Yeah, that's it. Those are the only ones that made like brief cameos on shitty TV shows.
I mean, it's Jim and Casey on this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Non-major parts or
Well, yeah,
podcasts?
like
We've had 126
I
more
would say
episodes.
that we're
of
more
a podcast.
prolific than any of those people.
we have. I mean, Daniel Marshall,
We do have Danielle.
Chad Henney, Kerry Collins,
Andre Reed
Andre Reed.
played football in Kutztown.
Yeah.
Kutztown, yeah.
The stadium's named after him.
Mhm.
And then you got
Bunch of baseball players out of
yeah,
local schools. I don't know any of their names, but
the
Like
one
prof-
Lutz kid.
yeah.
that he for the Mets.
oh yeah,
or
there's a
whatever.
bunch of kids. I mean, there's athletics for sure. I don't know.
I know Brian did the fence at Chad Henney's house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but yeah, it was pretty funny. He's like, his house is huge, and he just came out and stood there with his cup of coffee watching us work.
So this is what real work's like. Huh? You guys want to toss the ball around when you're done?
Because he lives
Have a
locally.
catch.
Yeah.
But not too far from here.
He probably still has a place in Michigan too. I don't know. I never knew him.
I don't even know who he is.
Chad Henney?
Chad Henney. He's a
Quarterback.
quarterback.
Really? Didn't you
So-
play against him?
So what's your
I don't
role
think
on this
so.
show?
I
does-
booked the guest.
He
He
hasn't-
does, he
he
does
hasn't
all the
seen Lost.
research. Yeah.
He hasn't seen Lost. He doesn't know who Chad Henney is.
He's not one of the people that we let talk very often, Joel.
I booked the
He
guest.
doesn't remember Carla.
Watch the teeth.
Oh man, I do want to talk to you about possibly changing things up a little bit.
Okay.
I want to start doing Berks Unsolved in the middle of our show, or as a
Okay.
segment of this show.
Let's do it.
think
I
we
like
should
that.
Start doing that. starting next week.
Yeah, next week.
Not this week.
No.
I didn't want to tell you yesterday, or we'd be doing it
Yeah.
now, and I really wasn't prepared to do it. So.
We had plans to do another podcast called Berks Unsolved, like all the different. There's over 100 unsolved murders in Berks County.
Really?
And I made like all the social media accounts: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook,
just to prime the pump, you know.
all that
Standard.
Yeah,
And
get some branding.
That was
going.
like 23 weeks ago.
That's how your analytics tell you.
I think on our Instagram page it says new podcast.
You're talking like a
coming
new
March
mom. Like,
4th.
how old's your son? He's 23 months. Mammy's 4.
I think it says on our Instagram that we were supposed to start March 4th.
What? I don't go by what
So-
Instagram tells me.
So I know I'm a guest, but can I ask questions?
Yeah,
It's
absolutely,
sure.
So what?
What the
There's
fuck
a-
are we doing
Yeah,
here?
yeah,
Oh,
what-
no,
well,
no, it's all him.
So Berks Unsolved.
Uh-huh.
You said there's like 100, roughly 100.
Yeah. Like 123 or
Well,
something.
look,
Okay.
you can look at
So-
the Reading Eagle. Yesterday, they put a thing in for Nile, the dude that was killed over in Wyomissing 2 months ago.
Oh, sure.
Home invasion. They don't have any leads. They don't have
Really?
any idea what's going on. And that was 2 months ago. I knew that guy very well. I mean, not very well, but I knew him to talk to him. I've had conversations with him. He was friends with a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
No idea who killed him, but busted into his house and killed him in front of 2 kids.
Damn.
And it lived over in Wyomissing, so it's not like,
Yeah, right.
you know.
It's not like it was mean streets.
Right.
Yeah, it was definitely targeted, right?
Well, I mean that ratio is pretty good, I would say. I mean, there's a lot
far
of
as-
murders.
Oh,
Per
sure.
Oh,
capita,
yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
and there's only like 120 something that are unsolved. I mean,
Yeah.
good on them.
Yeah, I guess. Right? Are we talking about the detectives? 'Cause, I mean, I'm not really. I'm just. There's just so much weird information out there. It's just something to talk about more
So-
than anything.
So Shawnee and Cisco at the shop, we bought all of the Berks County the haunting books. Like
Sure.
what are they called? I forget what it's
Charlie.
called.
Charles Adams.
Yeah. Like so, like there's 3 volumes of them, right?
Yeah, I forget what they're called.
Yeah, like Berks County Ghost Stories, I think it
Yeah,
is. Right?
something along those
Yeah,
lines.
yeah.
He
So
has
we-
a hell of a lot more than 3.
I don't know.
All the shipwreck
Oh,
book.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
he has a fucking like a whole section at any.
Yeah. He writes about different things though. Like
Yeah.
he has series. Like you're talking about one series that he has.
Yeah. We went back and bought like the Berks County Ghost Stories
Yeah,
stuff, and we were gonna like try to do like a
Podcast?
more like a Ghost Adventures kind of thing,
nice.
but just for Berks County and like go around to all the places like
Yeah, yeah.
like the witches like thing on
write
Hague
this down?
Road and like
Yeah.
you should do it.
We're
You can
taking
take
notes here.
it. We just talk shit in the shop all the time. We should do this, but
Just
we
about
never
what
do.
we do here,
we
man.
never do anything.
Yeah.
So, but
That's how all this got started. Just so you know.
oh, right on.
This was supposed to be a cartoon 27 years ago, 30
Yeah.
years ago.
But we came to the
Chickenduck.
realization that neither one of us had any artistic talents to
Standard.
draw a
Yeah.
cartoon, so it's just easier to talk into microphones. And then he wanted to record it for fucking video.
More
So-
people watch YouTube
I don't do it for
than
the
they
people.
do listen.
I don't do it for the people.
What do you do it for?
For Joel,
You've recorded 125 episodes
just for this fucking
Just to
moment right
convince me
here.
to come in.
For this moment right here. Told you, I'm
I-
really upset that I don't have hair.
I think you
Too
think I'm
much.
way more important than I really
I'm
am.
only kidding. No, don't sell yourself short, bud.
It's a very niche thing.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you and I go to Applebee's right now, no one will know who I am. But if
I don't.
well,
I wouldn't go to Applebee's.
Which in the Muhlenberg Applebee's,
maybe
they
I'd
might.
probably see.
I definitely wouldn't go to the Muhlenberg Applebee's. My God.
But I'm saying, if we, like generally speaking, it's not
Right.
like a general consensus on
Right.
fanfare. But if I go to like a hair show or like expo or whatever the case is, like I can't walk more than a couple feet without somebody like asking for a picture or
Right.
something with me. So
Just like us.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So in the,
every
at the
Monday when I
podcast
go to the
conventions-
airport,
I can hardly get through the terminal anymore.
that has actually happened one time. I told you about that up in Woodstock the other week
Oh.
when I was walking through, and the one dude yelled "Chickenduck,"
It happens to me, but it's usually Pookie
and he's usually like hiding
standing at my front door,
hiding behind a
looking through
counter
the screen
somewhere.
door.
I mean, to be honest, like a lot of people in this area know about it.
About
Chickenduck.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've been doing it for
Yeah,
2
Well,
fucking years.
I'm just saying, but
Yeah.
like it's not
It's
not as low key as you're making it sound.
No,
I wish
know,
the people that knew about it would start listening to it.
Listen, man,
it's
like,
a lot to swallow, man.
I think just the internet as a whole, and like it's just super tough for people to focus on one thing.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
so much stuff.
That's what I mean.
It's
It's more
crazy.
for us. It's more of a catharsis. Like sit here and get a bunch of shit out, hang out, bust each other's balls.
Yeah.
Whoever's here to talk to, we certainly like.
But I'm just saying
including them.
it's even more impressive that people know
Listen-
you and like
Yeah.
give a fuck about you, even if they've listened or not. But
Well,
when
hey-
there's so much other
shit
stuff
out there to
everywhere,
listen to,
like
yeah.
I
I
mean,
hear
most
ya.
people just want to like look at like dogs rolling around in grass or something.
all I look at.
Yeah, right. They don't- It's like you could be listening to something dope. but-
Right.
Well, you could still do that. I mean,
Now the guy that we're having on next week, Bill, he's a like a marketing guy. He owns his own marketing company, and he said, "How many listeners do you have a week?" And I said, "About 100, roughly, And
Yeah.
he's like, "That's crazy. That's crazy because of how much stuff there is to, what I mean?
Yeah, right.
That we're just like a nobody. Like none of us are.
nanny. But I'm just
Yeah, all our listeners. Yeah,
Kim, how many times do you hit the play button?
you just let it play
Once.
over and over.
But
again.
you you're like, all right, everybody, shut up. You're listening to Chickenduck for the next 3
I
hours.
listen to it usually before everybody comes into work because I can't really have it on then because I
Probably not. We're
I
not
know.
really. we're
Since
not
I'm the
always
boss, I
work
can't just say,
appropriate.
hey, I'm gonna listen to this morning.
We've come a long way since our earlier selves, though. I drop a lot less profanity now. Try to keep it more.
Well, I used to
That's
professional.
good.
I used to cut a lot more out too when
We don't
before
cut
we were
anything
on
anymore
video.
because you don't understand how to do it on video.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
now I can't say anything about
Cat's out of the bag.
your rampant
BL.
drug use. And,
Oh no, we can talk about my.
oh,
rampant
yours, not mine.
Can't drop BL anymore.
BL. Oh no more.
We used to have a specific words that we would say for when we would want to
It's
cut
pretty.
something out.
You're giving away a lot. It's not hard to figure that out.
Prank caller.
Prank call. Yeah. So, I gotta check my notes. We're doing well on time. I want to make sure there's nothing else I needed to run over.
Yeah, you got any questions or anything, Kim? You want to talk about?
I don't think so. No.
You guys graduated together, right?
No.
No. How many fucking times we graduated together? So how could we all three graduate together?
Well, you went to Central Catholic. You graduated from Central.
I mean, time-wise,
Right.
Casey. Whatever.
We all pretty
So were
much
you
graduated
2000
together.
2001.
Two.
Oh, 2002.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were closer.
No.
I apologize, Jim.
Oh,
Yeah.
200th episode. Are we doing it? What do we want to do?
Sure. We've got plenty of time to figure that out.
Okay, so you can
74
get
more episodes.
You can get
Everybody
Go
knows
ahead.
who Hunter Thompson is,
Yeah.
right? The writer,
Hunter
Fear and
S.
Loathing in
Thompson?
Las Vegas. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas with Johnny Depp, Benicio del Toro. You've never seen that? John never forced you to watch that movie.
that was
Are you
kind of
for real right
before.
Yeah.
I don't know that we would have been watching that before when they were
When?
together in like
Our
my junior year.
When did it come out?
Like 99.
My junior year of high school. Yeah.
Well, anyway,
can't think of it right
he
now.
was a very famous writer, and he killed himself in
wouldn't
2005.
That's him.
Okay.
And
And what did he write? Which movie? With Johnny Depp?
well, he wrote a lot of books. He was a book writer,
He was,
an
well,
author.
he was a journalist.
Yeah.
The Gonzo Journalist. This is the movie that came out when we were in
Oh,
high
yes,
school.
I know this movie.
Yeah, that's Hunter S. Thompson.
Yes, I
But
know
his
this
wife now has their home on Airbnb.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
For $550 a night.
That's actually not even that bad.
movie. That's not bad at all,
So
no.
Jim texted me yesterday and said that he'd like to record our 200th episode there.
That would be cool.
Where is it?
Woody Creek, Colorado.
Colorado.
I was on the street in front of it. I went
Driving
to
by
the-
on your motorcycle.
No, I went to the Woody Creek Tavern where he used to always hang out
I know, I
when we
remember.
were in Colorado.
Cool.
We drove up to right around the corner because everything that he always talked about in his books, like he always said, is as soon as I made it to the to the hairpin turn, I knew I was safe, so I just drove down the road, and I was like, "Oh, there's the hairpin turn," and his house is like right there. So
That's how you stalked. You figured it out, huh?
yeah, he was already dead.
You
so
broke the case.
I'm glad because I probably would have got a shot if
probably
he was
would've shot you.
alive.
He shot
so-
it. He shot that video of him shooting his neighbor is the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
with the
Yeah,
peacocks.
just shooting. Like they're shooting live ammunition back and forth at each other, and they can't see one another. They're just shooting through the woods.
Amazing.
We'll watch it when we're done here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But it's a good one.
Yeah, no, but yeah, we could do that if you're willing to fly to Woody Creek.
I have 74 weeks to figure that out, right? So that's over a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should be able to do that.
Yeah.
Be
That
a
was-
nice birthday present for me.
That was quick. Was that quick math, or did you just know that?
Well, we're on 126, so 200.
And there's 52 weeks in a year.
Oh, so every week. Very good.
Well, we're not
Roughly.
recording in 2 weeks, so our timeline gets fucked up because we do take weeks off.
Gotcha.
Plus, we're
Well, that's what I'm
recording.
getting at. Like, it was pretty like spot on for in a short period of
But
time.
actually,
you are amazing.
math genius.
The shirk.
That's
The shirk.
That's right.
should be the
It's
shirt.
all about
And
all
folks,
right.
this is the reason why.
There's shirt
This is the
scholarship
reason why.
applications out, folks. I gotta go through. That's what I'm doing this afternoon. I gotta go through all the shirk applications. Jimmy the shirt. Jimmy the shirt
You're like,
appointment.
quick math. If there's 52 weeks in a year,
Oh, that's funny.
so a train leaves from Chickenduck.
Well, this is actually next week, so
Oh.
our
Right.
timeline is all fucked up.
Way fucked up. So we try. That's part of the joke every week. You got anything else?
I don't.
Anything else for you,
Wanna
sir?
Plug anything? Plug your shop. Where can people follow you?
Favorite tattoo artist? Anything?
Oh yeah, we can hit all those. Let's start from the top, I guess. So yeah, Stag Barber Company on Kutztown Road.
Call first.
Yeah, definitely.
Make your appointments online. Right?
Yeah,
Like
appointments
Disney
online.
World, you'll be lined up for days.
You get stagbarbers.com if you want to make an appointment.
You have a nice line of T-shirts and some nice apparel. I see that.
Yeah, every
Joel
year,
the Holst,
every year
the
I
hair
put
surgeon.
a shirt out.
Nice.
So it's like I only do 200 every year, and they sell out pretty quick. So yeah, good
Very
deal.
cool.
But yeah, Joel the Hair Surgeon on Instagram. I don't know. Favorite tattoo artist, Taylor Mills at Provinia. That's who does all my work. I don't know. What
There
else
you
did
go.
you say?
That was all I said.
Plug anything?
Got it covered.
Thanks to
Very
Hattori
thorough.
Hanzo
You're
Shears,
very thorough.
Meister's Classic Beard Care, and Cricut Tools.
Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor.
Yeah,
Although we're open to negotiation.
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I
that
could get
I'd be
you
the foreman
combs.
or the four
If you want,
again.
we can just lay them on top, tape them to your head. So-
We could give combs to our guests.
I could
Yeah.
grow. I'll grow my hair out on the sides.
You
so
can
that
definitely get a Hogan going on there.
Yeah, you could get like a solid gym teacher look going. We'll put you in some like 6-inch shorts, like
that'll do it for 127. Joel, thank you very much for joining us.
appreciate
Thanks,
It
you.
was
Yeah.
a very fun day. Kim, thanks again for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm. Case,
Thank you
it's been
for
emotional.
having me.
Thanks, buddy.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.